pride of Alteris. He's going to be your blue Terran. From Kites Gaming, his name is Innovation. And the bottom right, it's your red Protoss from DBG. Hero. Alright. So, this is a best of 3 from the Team Liquid map contest. Very, very interesting maps that have been coming out. And the Team Liquid map contest is always something that is so interesting. You get so much creativity with these maps, and especially with just the aesthetics that some map designers go for. It's just something that you don't see. Like this map very much reminds me kind of I forget exactly the maps, but the early Legacy of the Void maps, as well as Heart of the Swarm, you had a lot of maps that went for this color palette, and I really like it. I really like this color palette. It's super nice. And this map itself is fairly standard, but you do have some interesting things here. You have this Xel'Naga Watchtower in the middle of a bunch of brush. Just a really interesting pseudo wall that makes the middle of this map here very dangerous. Ramps up to the 3rd that do eventually come down. The natural base is fairly easy to defend, it seems, and this is a very large map as well when you're looking at it, but ramp up into the natural base, ramp up into the main. A lot of space here to place buildings, so I don't think anyone's going to run out of room to place down what they want. And then another 3rd base here, again, a ramp up into it, as well as this, you know, kind of other high ground that leads into, once again, lots of open space. This is a very cool map, very large, very open as well, which is something that might end up favoring a Terran. A lot of the meta that you've seen in TVP, of course, is bio. A lot of Protoss, they want to get Colossus counts up, they want to go for Disruptors, they want to go for this large amounts of AoE, and a map that has so much open area especially is just very nice for the Terran. It means there's lots of room surrounds, there's lots of room for counterattacks to be moving across the map. So we'll see how Innovation plays with this. Innovation, of course, has been in decent form recently. You can't say that he's been in his best looking form, but even Innovation, when he's not playing his best, still looks like an incredibly good player, which is what's so scary about him. Even when he's not playing well, it's still like, well, he's Innovation, and he can still really beat anybody. And on the side of Hero, returning from military service, has been looking really solid. I think his TVP especially has been looking really good. It's just been interesting to see how, what openings he's been favoring as a player who comes from, you know, an older time period in the game, and now coming back to Legacy of the Void. It was similar to when DRG came back, brought a completely different style than what we'd really seen. This really aggro, you know, swarmy style with Ling, you know, Roach Ravager, Banelings, just constant pressure that not a lot of Zergs had really experimented with. Some had tried it, but none were really using it as well as he did, which made it so interesting. Hero, however, has been favoring Stargate openings. A lot of times he does like to go into this Phoenix, and, well, has this one Phoenix flying around it. This might be an attempt to fool Innovation to thinking that this is a hallucination, as he just does fly it right back out. Won't show Inno the fact that it does not disappear, but I really like that, as 4 Hellions moving out for Innovation immediately stopped because of that wall. Adepts gonna chase it down. This might be dangerous here. No walls available. Wall does come down just in time, though. However, Innovation does get scouting information from this, knows that it is indeed Phoenix that are on the way, loses 2 Hellions, doesn't gain a lot from it. Not exactly the best trade, but you will take knowing that it is actually going to be Phoenix on the way. And now we are going to be seeing that immediate 3rd base as a response from Hero. That's interesting. Just says, you know what, I'm just going to get this down right away, and I think it is the right call if he's behind it. Well, Innovation, he's also being greedy. Took an even earlier 3rd base than the Protoss, and has 2 more barracks coming on the way. No starport has been built yet. That is how Innovation has been able to afford this while still getting out the gas-intensive units like the tank and the Cyclone and the +1 attack. It's because there is no starport here to build air units. It is all on the ground as these Phoenix going to move on in. Immediately going to be shoved away. Missile turrets on the way, and as well as the Marines. Which means that there's not a lot of room here for Hero to try and move in. Innovation just playing this defense really well. Behind this, 2 forges, Twilight Council, and the Robo Facility. Hero going to be transitioning this into a more standard composition. Obviously, what's been favored is the Stalkers or the Blink Stalkers and the Colossus. Is usually what you'll see Protoss go for. Protoss like Zest also do tend to like to try and go a bit more gateway heavy, and I think that's what we're going to start to see here from Hero. 3 more gateways on the way. He has +1/+1, and 4 gates actually in Immortal, yeah. So Hero going to be going into the gateway-centric style, something that, again, a player like Zest has favored more in the past. Just because, especially on an open map, as I said, Colossus, they're not really going to be able to get as much value. There are not a lot of chokes for the Colossus to work with, especially only unless you're defending. You know, there are chokes on the defending side, but even then, there are a lot of wide open spots. So Hero's saying, I actually don't want to go for the Colossus. I want to go for a lot of gateway units, and that's going to be what's going to give me the value in this game. I think is a very good call, as Hero going in here, a few worker kills that you probably don't expect. 5 SCVs go down as the Cyclone going to try and chase, but nope, still 5 Phoenix alive. And as long as you're getting kills with Phoenix, as long as you're being around the enemy base and distracting them, that is a-okay. That is value from them. And that's something that Innovation has not been able to shut down just yet. But on the backside, he is working on combat shields. He is working on concussive shell, +1 armor as well. And this is going to be a very strong push from the Terran. Is up about 20 army supply to his opponent. This Hero finally is going to opt towards that robotics bay to get those higher tech units. More SCVs going to go down. Hero just being so annoying, and Innovation just does not have a lot of workers to work with here. He's down 10, which isn't the largest amount. Usually you'd expect that to be a bit bigger, especially with, you know, 8 or so units being lost here. 10 SCVs already going down. You would expect that gap to be large, but Inno has been on top of this macro, and we'll see if these Phoenix scout out the push. Like ships passing in the night, they're just gonna go by each other, and now it is Inno who is ready to commit. He's ready to push on in. He doesn't have +1 armor, but he has +1 attack. He has a tank, he has a Cyclone, and a whole lot of units. The shield battery overcharge immediately coming down. Zealots being warped in, but they do not have charge. Innovation gonna try and make this work. Those Widowmine hits are absolutely insane. Few Widowmines though gonna get picked off here on the retreat, and Hero, he's just bleeding out army. He needs to try and hold this third base. He can't afford to lose it. But I think Innovation's push is just too strong. It's too much bio. The tank here providing so much support, and the Stalkers are not out yet, but here comes the chase down. Innovation says he doesn't want to commit any further, and the Immortals get dropped out. The tank is going to be eliminated. Focus fire comes down. Blink forward. Hero trying to chase this. I don't know if he can, but Inno says he does not have enough to fight it in this army right now. Has to pull back. Oh, a huge Widowmine hit. Eliminates 3 Phoenix there. All of the shields gone from this army. A very successful push from Innovation. Gets worker kills. He is now in the lead worker-wise, and he manages to chip off a lot of the Protoss army. It just means that there's going to be so much less efficiency from Hero, who is getting into +2/+2 faster than his opponent. And this is where, this is really the only saving grace for Hero, is the fact that he's going to have this upgrade advantage, because Innovation is already heading into Ghosts, already has more barracks on the way. Yeah, Hero realizes, I need to push with this 2-2. I only have 1 Colossus, but this is a timing for him that he needs to try and hit. The second Colossus is going to join up. We'll have to see if Innovation can hold. Not his whole army is here just yet, but it's a lot of bio. That army supply count going to start to be evened out. Force fields immediately going down to section off a few of the Marauders. And a nice Widowmine drag here. I think Hero, once again, he might have enough to push this back. One of the Immortals is going to go down, but these Colossus just stepping forward by themselves is causing so much pain for Innovation. He can't dive on top of them. Hero, is he microing this fight perfectly? There's the liftoff on the CC, and the SCVs are pulled. That is absolutely worthwhile, as here comes the bio stimming on in. The Colossus, though, are still alive. They are absolutely wreaking havoc. A third Colossus joins. The Colossus hasn't even gone down. It finally dies, but there's too much here for Hero. And he just pushed across the map, wins the game. Absolutely sick. And welcome to what might be the smallest map I have ever seen aside from Bonnie Research Station. In the bottom left of Iliad, it's gonna be your blue Terran, down 1. His name is Innovation. And in the top right, with the probe already on the map, DPG, it's Hero. And man, did Hero play that last game so well. It was just something where he says, listen, I have to hit with this 2-2. You didn't kill my Colossus while you did thin out my army, and you also pushed back before, you know, your third was done. Also, what is the rush distance on this map? That probe was across before the barracks started. That is insane. That is ridiculous. So, Iliad here, as you can see, has 3 pathways up to this platform outside the natural. The third base that you would usually take is fairly not that wide open, has some chokes to use, and also has these 3 ramps leading up to it, and then everything else is so wide open. The 2 maps we've seen in this best of 3 at least so far, both of them being very, very interesting. And well, Hero says, listen, there is a... This map is short, therefore we cheese. He just had a very, very nicely played macro game where he hits the killer timing with the 2 Colossus with the 2-2 when Innovation is not quite ready to defend. And that's a timing that Hero has been really taking advantage of in all of his PVTs. Did not mean to pull that up. Which is very interesting to see. It just seems to be one where he says, listen, I hit my units, I have my upgrades, and I'm going to try and see if I can just kill the Terran before they manage to come through with either their 2-2, or they have a sufficient amount of bio to deal with it, or Vikings even, to help deal with the Stalkers. But in this game, we're not going to see any of that. Nope, Hero, proxy Stargate, immediately into the shield battery. Innovation has no clue about what is going on. He went CC before Factory. There is not going to be a lot of defense available for our blue Terran, and he just has not scouted out anything. Innovation has been staying on his side of the map. The most he's scouted out is right here, and now he sees the Zealot, which is a bit of a red flag because you don't build a Zealot if you are going to be playing normally. This Zealot indicates that this is either A, Max Pax, or B, some other really aggressive proxy cheese that Hero is trying to delay Innovation from being able to defend it. Already going to be able to pick off 1 Marine. Second one should go down, and this Adept is going to get so much damage. Immediately delays the CC. Another Marine goes down. That's 3 already killed. And yep, there's going to be an SCV kill. Behind this, the Void Ray has already started. There is already shield batteries on the way. Innovation is just now going to see it. The Adept even getting pocketed. Innovation realizes how dire the situation is. A Cyclone is on the way, but it doesn't matter. The Void Ray is here. There are 2 Adepts in your main. I think Hero might just win this game. There was no scouting from Inno. He did not expect the cheese, and the cheese is here. The Tech Lab is open, and that will be eliminated. There's going to be no research on Magfield Accelerator. There's going to be no more double pumping Marines. The Adept is still just stopping anything from pushing out, and there's already 2 Void Rays out for Hero. The bunker only now goes down, but that can immediately be focused down. Cyclone as well, already dead. Can't even focus down the Void Ray. Hero just executed perfectly. Innovation, not enough information, and that's going to be a swift 2-0.